Welcome back to the Daily Yield. Let me ask you a question. If the American dream was created today, would owning a home still be part of it? For decades, buying a house was considered one of the most important financial milestones in a person's life. It was a symbol of success. It represented stability, family, and the opportunity to build wealth over time. Parents encouraged their children to buy a home as soon as possible. Financial advisors promoted homeownership as a key component of long-term financial security. However, something has changed. Today, millions of Americans are looking at home prices and wondering if the dream still makes financial sense. Home values have risen dramatically in many parts of the country. Mortgage rates remain significantly higher than they were just a few years ago. Property taxes continue to increase. Homeowners' insurance premiums have climbed. Maintenance costs have become more expensive due to inflation and labor shortages. The result is a housing market that feels increasingly out of reach for many families. Some people are delaying homeownership. Others are abandoning the idea entirely. What makes this issue so important is that housing is not just a financial decision. It is also an emotional one. Many people feel pressure to buy because they believe renting means falling behind. Social media often reinforces this belief. Friends and family members may reinforce it as well. Yet financial success does not come from following old rules that no longer fit current realities. It comes from understanding the numbers and making decisions based on your situation. Today, we are going to examine whether homeownership still deserves its place as the cornerstone of the American dream, or whether Americans need to rethink what financial success looks like in 2026. When most people think about buying a home, they focus on the mortgage payment. That is understandable because it is usually the largest expense. However, the mortgage is only one piece of a much larger financial picture. The true cost of homeownership extends far beyond principal and interest. Property taxes can add hundreds of dollars to a monthly payment. Homeowners' insurance continues to rise in many regions due to severe weather events and increasing replacement costs. Then there are maintenance expenses. Roofs eventually need replacement. Water heaters fail. HVAC systems break down. Appliances wear out. Landscaping requires attention. Every homeowner eventually discovers that unexpected repairs are not a possibility. They are a certainty. Financial experts often recommend setting aside 1, 2, 3% of a home's value each year for maintenance alone. For a $400,000 home, that could mean budgeting between $4,000 and $12,000 annually. Then there are closing costs, moving expenses, furniture purchases, and ongoing utility bills that may be higher than expected. Many buyers stretch their budgets to qualify for a home and then find themselves house poor. They own the home, but have little money left for retirement, investing, emergency savings, travel, or enjoying life. This does not mean home ownership is bad. It means buyers need to understand the complete financial commitment before signing the paperwork. A home can be a valuable asset, but it can also become a financial burden when purchased at the edge of affordability. Understanding these costs allows you to make a smarter decision and avoid becoming trapped by a payment that limits your financial flexibility for years to come. For years, renting was often portrayed as throwing money away. That phrase has been repeated so many times that many people accept it without question. However, the reality is far more nuanced. Renting provides flexibility that home ownership simply cannot match. Renters are not responsible for replacing a roof, repairing a furnace, or covering unexpected maintenance costs. They can relocate for better job opportunities without worrying about selling a property. They also avoid many transaction costs associated with buying and selling real estate. In today's market, renting can sometimes be significantly cheaper than owning the same property. When that happens, the difference can be invested elsewhere. Imagine someone who rents for $2,000 per month, while owning a comparable property would cost $3,000 per month after taxes, insurance, and maintenance. That $1,000 difference could be invested into retirement accounts, index funds, or debt reduction strategies. Over time, those investments can compound into substantial wealth. The key point is that renting is not automatically a financial failure. It is simply a different financial strategy. The problem occurs when people rent without investing the savings or use the extra cash flow on unnecessary spending. Homeownership can build equity through mortgage payments and appreciation. Renters must create their own equity through disciplined investing. Both paths can lead to financial success. The decision should not be based on social pressure. It should be based on your income, goals, career plans, family situation, and local housing market. The wealthiest people focus on building assets. They do not focus on winning arguments about whether renting or buying is always better. Despite the challenges, homeownership can still be an excellent financial decision under the right circumstances. The key phrase is under the right circumstances. Buying a home makes more sense when you plan to stay in the area for several years. It also makes sense when the monthly payment fits comfortably within your budget and leaves room for savings and investing. A home can serve as both a place to live and a long-term wealth-building tool. As you pay down the mortgage, you build equity. Historically, real estate values have appreciated over long periods of time, although there are no guarantees. Homeownership can also provide stability. Fixed-rate mortgages offer predictable housing costs, while rents may continue increasing. For families with children, stability can be especially valuable. There is also a psychological benefit to owning your own property. Many homeowners enjoy having complete control over their living space. They can renovate, customize, and create a home that reflects their lifestyle. The mistake many people make is assuming that any home purchase is automatically a good investment. Location matters. Price matters. Interest rates matter. Financial preparedness matters. A home should strengthen your financial position rather than weaken it. If purchasing a home would leave you unable to save for retirement, build an emergency fund, or handle unexpected expenses, waiting may actually be the smarter move. Financial success is not determined by how quickly you buy a house. It is determined by how well your financial decisions support your long-term goals. Perhaps the most important lesson in this conversation is that the American dream is evolving. The dream was never supposed to be a specific house, a certain zip code, or a particular mortgage payment. The dream was always about opportunity, stability, and financial independence. For some people, that path will include homeownership. For others, it may involve renting while aggressively investing. The goal should not be to impress others. The goal should be to build a financial life that works for you. Too many Americans feel pressured to chase milestones because previous generations followed the same path. Yet the economic realities of 2026 are very different from those of previous decades. Success today requires adaptability and critical thinking. Before buying a home, ask yourself whether the decision improves your financial future or simply satisfies an expectation. Focus on building savings. Eliminate high-interest debt. Increase your income where possible. Invest consistently. Create financial flexibility. Those actions matter far more than a title on a property deed. If you found value in today's discussion, hit the like button, subscribe to the Daily Yield, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe homeownership is still worth it in 2026? Or do you think the American dream needs to be redefined? I would love to hear your perspective. Until next time, stay intentional with your money, stay focused on your goals, and remember that we're building real financial progress, one step at a time.